We won. It's all that matters, right? It doesn't matter at the end of the day that about all the other things, right? We got the W. I think that obviously they had a hell of a response to their last game. You knew that they were going to play better. They were going to fight. And I thought that for us, I always talk about, I think sometimes the longer breaks in between games are a little tougher. You kind of lose a game rhythm a little bit. It would have been good for us to get back on the court a little bit sooner. But, we found a way. We did a lot of really good things. They were really, really good in a lot of areas. We found a way to win this one. And, as much as the last one stung, you found a way to get the win and close the game. Z's 3 offensive rebounds in that possession late with DJ making the kick-out 3 was probably the difference in the game, right? We did hold them to 6 offensive rebounds for the game. It's a huge deal with JaVale and their length and physicality. We won the rebounding deal, we had 14 offensive rebounds, and I think 14 made threes, and that's the difference.
Mike, you talk about Z, 3 offensive rebounds. There's been a bit of chatter from fans he should be scoring more, but he's been playing a great role for you, almost like a Draymond Green style role. He's seen a lot of blind pig actions, uphill DHOs. How do you feel he's been playing as the week's gone?
I think that he's been phenomenal. I think he takes what the defense gives him. He does fill that role. I brought that up in maybe at the Melbourne United or the Cairns game press conference. It's more of a role that he fits for us. And some games it's going to be like the United game where, it's 21, 12, and 9. And some days it'll be a little bit different because today it was like the balance between us setting screen action with the 5 or with Z. But what we did was we found a rhythm on both sides of the ball in the third quarter. And then we figured out how to score and how the game was being played. And like I said, we made plays to win the game.
When you go up against a player as dominant as JaVale McGee, what kind of tactics do you try and use to limit his advantage that gives?
I think just anything. He's big, right? Like I always say, he's an NBA center with his size, and he's playing here in the NBL now. But Giants do walk on the earth. He's that big, and you're trying to just get him out of his spots and really make things tough for him, and try to keep him off the glass. That's why when he seals deep, it's a problem, right? And you don't want to give him a bunch of 3-point plays, and then you're trying to run him around on when we're on offense a whole bunch and trying to put him in screening action. And just the general philosophy, I think everybody in the world tries to get size up and out of the paint and put them on the move, and that's what you're trying to do with your screening action, and that's the balance between Z and Ice and Nick. And it's always going to be the thing with JaVale. I also want to say, like, Nick's minutes in the third were huge for us. Like, his ability to handle the ball and do some different things, and we got into a rhythm, and we stuck with it there for a long stretch in the third, and he really helped us connect and keep that quarter going.
On the minutes there, Mike, in the first quarter, you had a lot of substitutions, like that bridging group you talked about, that 3-guard lineup, Kenny in the 4, but in that third quarter, a little bit less substitutions, more minutes for Nick. So is that just something that was just a read of the game and just a feel for how things were going?
Yeah, in the first half, we've got a bunch of games coming up. There's always a sub pattern in how we do go into the game with a plan. And sometimes you stick with it, sometimes you don't. The game will dictate what the sub pattern is. I wanted to try to get to it early, and then, with the way the starting group really started the third quarter, then it was like, okay, as a parent to kind of leave that group out there a little bit more. So you try to ride the wave a little bit until it kind of runs out a little bit, and then you start to manufacture the game and try to figure out those combinations and how you want to finish the game offensively and defensively. So there's always a plan, and then the defense will, or the opponent and the game, fouls, time, score, all that kind of stuff dictates it.
DJ, the spread of the scoring must be really pleasing from your perspective as a player, because we saw that come out last week against Melbourne United as well, and it's come up again in this game against Illawarra this afternoon, having 5 players in double figures and everyone sort of contributing at different times during the game, not getting too centric on one particular player in this offense? Are you sort of starting to gel that together now?
I mean, when Bryce doesn't have 30 points, it's easy for us to kind of go into the next option, and a lot of teams are going to try to take him away. But when you got guys who know positions, know when to score, it makes life a lot easier for everyone else.
And pretty special afternoon for Indigenous round, of course, this time around.
Yeah.
Wonderful jerseys and that. Would you
No,
like
it's
to
it.
speak to that a bit?
Yeah, obviously it's a cool design. Obviously, my partner's a Yorta Yorta, proud woman from Victoria, pagan. So I know it's a good round to celebrate culturally and stuff. So, no, big fan of the round, and hopefully, I wish we could wear it more throughout the year. Not just have one round or 1 or 2 weeks of it. I think we can do it a lot more and allow teams to wear what they want as long as they don't clash with the other teams. So, NBL, maybe you check that one out.
So a bit of a down year for scoring for you, DJ, but efficiency numbers are the best of your career. Obviously a very different team this year compared to last year. What do you make of the perhaps new role that you have in this squad?
Tell some of the NBL reporters that too. Obviously, I just want to win. I came here wanting to change a culture. Me and Isaac decided to sign long term. We went and recruited great players, not just on the court but off the court. Everyone wants to hang out and have fun, and everyone's interacting. And I don't know, it's just you want to win. End of the day, your career matters on how many championships you've got. And obviously, I've won 2 in Sydney, but I've turned a new leaf in my chapter where I want to stay here and see if I can retire. And hopefully, not just one championship. I want to try to bring multiple here. So I'm all about winning, and hopefully, I can help the team in that way.
DJ, on that, there's a few critics out there in the Trisphere, but you look at how teams are going. You go back in that first game opener, Brisbane, their face going in, Cotton can go off for 40 plus, right? So your gravity has created a lot of looks for different players as a team. You're playing a role and really sacrificing for the team. So yeah, how do you feel? It's a different role. Obviously, you're talking to them. How do you feel it's going so far this season for you? Because I would suggest that your impact's a lot bigger than what a lot of critics out there will say.
Again, tell the critics that as well. We're 6-2. We're playing some really good basketball, and yeah, you got to pick and choose. You want Bryce to have 40 and still lose? Go for it. I'm okay sitting in the corner being a decoy and pulling away that gravity, but I know I also have to defend and rebound down the other end. So I've kind of switched my mind onto that, and yeah, do what I can to help this team win.
We've got Chris on the line with a question.
Yeah, DJ, just following on from that, I mean, Bryce had 9 assists tonight, and a lot of those were finding you for your shots as well, and you've been doing the same for him at different times. Are you pretty happy with that, the way you're building that chemistry playing alongside him?
Yeah, I just wish I made a few more shots so he would have had a double-double. But again, that's the part of the game. Yeah, we just got to we're figuring it out. As you said, you take Bryce away where I can get my shots, or just trying to make his life a bit easier with the guard-to-guard screen. But again, we play the basketball the right way, and it's all about winning.
And Mike, another good test for you on Thursday, going down to Christchurch to play New Zealand. They're coming off a good win as well. What are your early thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, first I'll piggyback on DJ. Bryce is a really unselfish superstar, and DJ has sacrificed. And today was the first time we probably had 5 guys in double figures, and that was a key to the game for us. More guys had an offensive rhythm. That ball moved, and Bryce is the first guy to say in the timeouts, I don't care about scoring. Get to the spacing. They'll double team me, and I'll find you. And we saw some of that. He could score when he needs to, and us getting Zylan and DJ back into the offense and getting guys in double figures is huge for us. And then, for Thursday, they just came off an unbelievable win, right? And I think they're trying to, like most of the teams in this league, we're still trying to figure out exactly our identity and are we the team that wins by 40 or the team that's lost some? And the majority of the league early in the year here is still trying to figure it out. There'll be it'll be a really, really difficult game. We have a ton of respect for them, and we'll turn our attention to them here when I get done answering questions.
Well, I'll let you go. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks.